Hello everybody, welcome. Today we are going to have so much fun and we are going to be playing around with some stamping and jelly prints today. So I'm Christy here at My Artful Adventures, and today we are also talking about an event coming up with the Sacred Treasure House, and it's called Summer Sun, and it's a special event where everyone has crafts that you can purchase and then craft along either with them or after you see their presentation in the group. So that is going to be so much fun. We did one of these with Sacred Treasure House. It's a Facebook group over in at Christmas time. It was like a Christmas party. We had a great Christmas party. So that was so much fun, and we just had a blast over there. And so our hostesses are Lisa from Lisa's Craft House, and we've got Tanya from Timeless Treasures with Tanya, and Deborah from Sacred Sew. And they're just the best hostesses, you guys. And so they are a lot of fun. They kind of spearhead all the fun in the group and just make it so much fun. And that's kind of the way that it has been over in the Summer Sun event as well. So if you're not over there, I hope that you will, come on over and join us in the group, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I'm not seeing one of my little doodads there. There we go. Oh my goodness, I got a bunch of people here. Estella, Molly, Debbie, Michelle, Sue is here. Deborah, hi everybody, welcome. Thanks for popping on today. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun, kind of combining a couple of different techniques together. And I hope that you enjoy it. I'll show what my offering is for the Summer Sun project as well. So let me bring this up another way here so I can make sure I can see all the comments. Because you know what I always say, what fun would it be if we can't see the comments, right? I think I say that all the time, but it's so true, don't you think? Don't you think that is really so true? And let me just send this another place for us. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put us down here to the workspace. And then before we get into the other goodies, hi Tanya, hi Deborah, Sissa, hi everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay, so before we get into our project, let me show you what we are going to be doing. This is my project that you can purchase. It's just a small little painting, so it's not super intimidating, and we'll walk through during the Summer Sun event. We'll walk through exactly how to create this, and I think everybody likes sunflowers, right? And this is all that you get. You get your canvas, and and this is an easy design. It will have some of it already sketched. They'll be pre-drawn on there, so you don't have to do that, but this is a really easy one to do. And then you get your paints, you get a little set of brushes, a little apron, a little tray to be your paint palette. So basically you just need the place to paint and to set up your stuff, and then something for water for your brushes, you guys. So I hope that you will come and join us and do that. And here is, I'll show you the little flyers in the group too. But this is going to be on June 19th and 20th. It's a 2-day event, and so there's 12 different craft kits that you can or choose from, and they're in the group. So once you're in the group, you can see what all they are. And it's $6 to join the event, and that is because there are going to be all kinds of giveaways as well, right? And then the craft kits are $14.99 plus shipping, and that's just let us know if you are interested in that. And Tanya over at Timeless Treasures, she's kind of been spearheading all of the payment information and everything. So if you want to send Tanya a message, that would be great, and let her know that you want in. And or you can let me know, and I will help you navigate all of that. Okay, gotta get situated in my chair here. My chair is broken, you guys. My husband sat in it last night for a second, and he goes, "This cannot be good for you." He goes, "It like tilts forward." Yeah, the seat is all, you know, wonky, and it tilts down like towards your knees. It's sitting, but you know, basically I just sit my rear end on it, and I don't like really lean back on it. I don't like arms on my chairs, because then like I'm always turning in here and trying to get to stuff, so I keep the arms put back up. But it isn't the best. Just like, yeah, I guess I've gotten used to it. It did that one day, it did something else weird one day, and then it did that, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys, how many of you have ever used a Gelli print plate? Hey Dana, Christine, hey everybody, Sissa, don't think I saw you yet. No, maybe I did. You guys, you just lose track. I get to blabbing, and I just apologize for just kind of, you know, losing track of what I've done. I think sometimes I start telling you guys something and I don't even finish. How goofy is that? And thank you all who have sprinkled me out. I so appreciate that. So today we're going to combine some stamping with our Gelli printing. And so I thought this would be kind of fun. I have cut these into, this is just the same kind of cardstock that I would make like a card base out of. It's just, it's, you know, kind of a lightweight cardstock. And so we're going to print right on this. So we are going to do some prints first, and then we're going to do our Gelli plate fun and see how that works out. Let me see here. I think I'm going to use, I'm going to try to use this Memento ink. If it's not, you know, I should have checked this out, you guys. Let's use this one. I don't know. It looks, I can't tell if it's doing anything on there. Now, luckily, you hear me say this all the time, a piece of paper has two sides, right? So if this doesn't work, I'll pull out another one. Hey Lydia, hi Susan. Sue, you have one, but you haven't used it yet. Oh my goodness. Dana, Linda, hi you guys. Well, you have got to do that. Molly, you haven't tried that. Oh, my friend Molly, she tries all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, let's see about this. And I'm going to put it kind of towards the bottom. I think that would make a pretty little card front. If indeed it had enough ink. Well, sorta. That's okay though. That'll be fine. The lines are real small though, so it looks super dainty. Super, super dainty. But that's okay. And now that I see where that is, boy, I got that pretty close to be centered, so that was lucky. How many of you have gotten a kit and are planning to come to the Summer Sun event? I'm just curious. Okay. And you guys, if you haven't ever heard me talk about this before, okay, so these are rubber stamps. I've had these for a long time. And, you know, they've kind of gone from even Stampin' Up, which this is an old Stampin' Up stamp. Even Stampin' Up is not using wooden blocks anymore. They have gone to a system to where they can be on an acrylic block. So we don't have so many of these wooden blocks, and they take up so much space. But I tell you that rubber stamps are the best. And that's because you can get the fine little details way better than and so then, okay, so there's rubber stamps are best, and then photopolymer is the next best, and they are, you know, they aren't cheap either. And then acrylic stamps. And it's kind of, it steps down in how great of an image that you can get with, super small details in your stamps. And so, that's kind of how you have to think about how that works. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try this one. This is fun. This one hadn't been used yet. So we want to kind of, and you know what? It's okay if you don't get all the ink on it, and it's because of what we're doing today, it's not really going to matter. I mean, it's going to look real artsy anyway, right? It's going to be artsy and fun. We all like artsy and fun, right? Who doesn't like artsy and fun? Look, I even put my apron on today because I know I'm messy. I think I'll put this off here in the corner. And I mean, it didn't get the best, and that's me. That isn't the stamp, that was me. And it was a brand new stamp too. So, usually if you want to kind of stamp something off and try it a little bit. Oh, and somebody was saying, who was that? And I've heard this before, but they say that if you use like that, like Versamark, that you can use for embossing, that is a good way to kind of get it going too, to kind of season it. But since I've already got ink on here, I don't want to do that because my Versamark is like a clear ink. And you know what, let me grab a piece of paper here. I'm going to stamp part of it off. Well, it's stuck on that jelly plate. It just stuck on there. Oh my goodness, that stuff is sticky. But it's meant to be. So I'm going to stamp it like off the corner and see how that looks. You guys, do you have any idea when stamping kind of originated? Who has an idea of when any kind of stamping, who has an idea of when that might have originated? I was kind of curious about that, and I was looking up some information about stamping. And there's all kinds of stamping, not just rubber stamping and the kind of stamping that we do for this. They make metal stamps that you can stamp on metal. If you've ever seen any leather work where they stamp. My dad used to do leather work. He did beautiful work. And my brother just recently sent me a picture of something that he had been working on. And oh my goodness, it is just gorgeous work. And I'm so glad that he kind of took that up as well. And so that just made me happy. That made me a happy camper. Okay. And okay, I don't know. We've got several there. Let's play around with our ink. I get so excited to just, not ink, my jelly. What is popped up here? No, I don't want to do an update. Not right now, thanks. Okay, a stamp with nature items too, right? Okay, so here, maybe the caveman, there you go. You would think it might be the Romans. That's what Donna says. A stamp with nature items too. Yeah, you're right, Susan. Yeah, that's true. Deborah says 5,000 to 3,500 BC. What I read, they think about 2000 BC. And what they were doing at that point was using it, blacksmiths were stamping metal to make coins. And I thought, oh yeah, that's true. And then, so much later was when rubber stamping came into be. So they were making metal, stamping on metal to make coins. So they have to use metal to stamp on metal. And then later they were using like brass or other metal to create wax seals. That's a form of stamping too, right? Because you're stamping on the wax. So that's another form of it. And then rubber stamping, they think happened in about around 1864. I read something else that said 1844, but that was so soon after they figured out the process that they could use rubber the way that, you know, that we think of rubber. And I can't remember what they call it. There's a process to do that, to, you know, to use it and make it pliable and things like that. Well, I know what I read, but I'm not going to say it because I might not pronounce it right and it would be hilarious. Wax seals. I know. I love wax seals too. And you know, you can make wax. You can fake it with hot glue. Hot glue can be faked for that. So you guys, since we're doing the Summer Sun event, I thought it would be fun to do some kind of summery colors. So I've got a little bit of yellow and orange and red. And we're just going to put these on. So all you have to do is you just put a little bit on. Whoa. What in the world happened there? Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to turn my fan off. I'm not happy about that. Let me just say that. Not happy to turn my fan off. It gets hot. I already was in the room next door. The room next door is, it's actually closed in and we use it as part of the house, but it really wasn't. They had closed in garage and then they made like a, probably what had originally been a carport, and they turned it into a garage, and it's just got this weird metal roof on it. And oh my goodness, you guys, when it rains out there, a little bit of rain sounds like it is just going to sounds like hail. It gets really loud. And so that part out there has my husband keeps like a space heater out there if he needs heat. It's got a window air conditioner, but it really, you know, isn't part of the house, really. We use it that way. It's always nice when you have extra space, right? Oh my goodness. I should have just turned around and got one of these. I think there's some that's open. Hang on, you guys. Good grief. Here, this one is open. And give it a little shake. And just, I don't know, that's all. That came and did that funny little splurt as well. And then I think I'm going to even put a tiny bit of red. You don't know. Let's not do that yet. Let's just use this and see how this turns out. And you can rub it both ways. I don't know. Oops, I did it too deep. What am I doing there? I got some funny line. Oh my goodness. I'm doing mark making without any marks. You know, I cleaned this off before and I've got that same weird texture again, you guys. And that's from my brayer. So I don't know what's going on. So you do that and then you know what? Let's put a little bit of gold. These are so fun. Hi, Linda. How are you? Oh, I should look up my other place, see if anybody popped on YouTube. I have to look at a different spot to see comments. Hi, Diane. Oh, Betty. Yes, Betty. Vulcanize. Yes, but they used it as, they used it in a different form of the word. Oh, I know what it was. It would have been vulcanization. I'm like, oh my goodness. So let me put just a little bit of gold. I should put that on first. And you know, my little pieces are so small. Oh my goodness, I do not know why that is doing that. Maybe I'm pushing too hard. Okay. So now all you do is you put your paper down. Now mostly it's all orange, isn't it? And just rub it on. And you can put a piece of paper, I'm not going to do that. You can put a piece of paper over it and rub it all down to make sure you get a good coverage. But I've got so much on here that's not covered. I don't think I want to do that. So you guys, I didn't look. Did you guys answer? Oh, shoot. Well, I got white stuff left. Okay. I got some of it too, and I guess my plate is dirty. Got something stuck in here. Oh my goodness. Some little lint or something. I don't know if you can look at though. The gold has made it kind of shiny. A little bit of gold. And doing the stamping under here, that's kind of pretty. It's so orange. So very orange. Where's that gold? It's just like playing. It's just like playing with color, you guys. I'm gonna have to get a different brayer. Oh my goodness. Me oh my. Now this one doesn't have the print on it. We didn't stamp this one. But we could always, you know, stamp it after the fact. After the paint dries, you could always do it then. There. So I've got that gold. You can see that gold. Playing with color. Yes, for sure. It's always fun. Now I'm missing around the edges there. You guys, I gotta grab a wipe and get this off of my mat over here. I love how I can put down a mat and still get it on the other mat. You know what, you guys, if you ever have something like that you're trying to get off, I remember what I had stuff on the other day, and I got one of those things that's like the mystery eraser, and it cleaned it right off. And I was so glad that I thought about that, because it really made a real difference. And so, you know, the more paint you have on, the thicker it's going to look, the more coverage. And you can even take a whole piece of paper, and this is how you can do this. And think about how fun this would be to use. You know, we always have the things that are the dyed, the coffee dyed, the tea dyed, any kind of dyed papers and things that we use like for junk journaling and different kinds of projects. You know, you guys can make your own colorful things just by doing this. And it, oh my goodness, that just keeps tipping over. And it doesn't matter that it's got, you know, different things of white in it. I think the marks and the things like that, a lot of times when you are doing your prints, you make the marks on here. And I'll show you what I mean, which we kind of did because the brayer is making the marks. That thing is flipping over on the edge. So, you know, I don't know if I told you, one of the reasons I decided to pick these colors was because I thought it would be fun to use some yellows and oranges to go with our summer fun event theme that we were having, right? Okay, so then, you know, you do that and then you just start over. Now, I tell you what, I'm going to put some little gold, and you can even use other things. You can throw on some little flecks of, oh, what do they call them? I can't think right offhand. Why did that escape me? Well, you got any of you that watch me, you know, I can be thinking of something and forget it the next second. Oh, let's just do it like this. Let's just use this. We'll still have a little bit of that orange on there, but let's just use the gold and the yellow. And you just, you know, you just brayer it on. See, and this brayer, whatever is going on with it, you can see this weird texture that it's doing. It had some paint that had dried weird on it, and I thought that I got all of that cleaned off. And even looking at it, it looked like I had. So one of the things that you can do, you can take anything that you want to make marks with. And let's say we just, let me grab another wipe and I can wipe my paintbrush. You can just do like some little circles. And I mean, they don't have, or, you know, just little lines. Maybe that's just an odd little design we've got, like a little circle and a whatever. And you're gonna get whatever you've wiped off. You're gonna, if your paper is white, you're gonna get that as white. And like I said, then you can still go back if you want to do some stamping. And if you can also use water in it. I don't want to use water because it will take too long for it to dry. Do you have an ocean blue? I got all kinds of colors. Have you not seen behind me? I don't know what you consider ocean blue though. Here. That's all paint back there. I tell you, sometimes I do fun painting, but you know, it might not be a picture. It can just be doing things like this, you guys. This is super fun painting, right? And then you've got, you know, something like this, wherever you make your marks. Isn't that cool? Hi, Tina, how are you? So look at that. I mean, how fun would this be to use in your, you know, in your junk journaling? And I tell you what, you can see that this is not covering my whole page. And you guys, it's got that gold in it. Look at that gold. Isn't that gorgeous? Now they make a bigger jelly plate. They make them in different sizes. And I think this is something like, oh, let me see. Let me measure it. But they make a much bigger one. This is like 10 by, it's about 8 by 10. Well, you would think that would, well, no, because the paper is 8.5 by 11. But you could trim it down. You know, you could either trim it down or, you know, do it like that. Now this little piece here, this is kind of already dry. Let me move this over. Let's stamp something. Let's stamp on the top. We did the two where we stamped it first and then did that. And I'll show you how much different that it's going to look if we stamp over the top. It's going to be, you know, the black is going to be much more rich because this time we'll be stamping over the top of it instead of, you know, having our paint on top of it. Okay. And you could do it the other way too. Maybe we'll do it like this and put it down here in the corner. Well, it didn't do super, I mean, you can, you know, you get the effect. And like I said, I really don't mind stuff like that. Now, if you really wanted it to be exact, you could put it in one of the stamp positioners, like the Misty tool. You've seen me use that before. And then, you know, when this is dry, I would make sure that this is very dry before I put it in there though. But, you know, it's really, when you paint it, it starts to kind of warp a little bit. But as it dries, I mean, this is getting, you know, it's going to be flat enough. It's flattening back out. So it's not like using watercolor on it or anything. But look, isn't that pretty? Do you like that? What do you think? You think you would like to, how do you clean it? Just in the sink with soap and water. That, it's easy to clean. You just do that. And, you know, if it's in between, you might have a wet rag handy and use. All I've got out here are these. I've got these wipes. But my brayer is still a mess. My brayer is going to be covered with this. So you kind of have to either get your brayer all cleaned off and do a different color. Let's do some different colors. You want to? Let me see here. If I get most of it off, I think we can switch colors fairly easy. You know, I do not feel that weird texture on here that keeps popping up, but it's not to say that it's not there, right? That I still have little glittery specks in here from using that gold. That's a gorgeous color of gold. It's that, it's Deco Art, and it's called Extreme Sheen, and it's 24 karat gold. And it is a wonderful gold color. And you know, sometimes you think about, oh, I just want something gold. But there's so many colors of gold. You know, let's use a couple of these colors and maybe even add in a little bit of white. This one is called Peacock Teal, and this one is called Sea Breeze. Let's play around with those. Oh, Lydia, you would love it. You would really like it. It's so fun. And it really doesn't take a lot of paint, you guys. Oops, I didn't shake that one. Hello, Susan Turley. How are you? Hi, Cindy and Kathy. I see you've popped on here too. Susan Turley, I'm doing a different kind of painting today. A different kind of painting. Now I'm going to just use this. See how we like this before I go and add anything else. Oh, look at that. Look, it's, you know what it's doing along here? You guys, this is from that wipe I used. It has left some residue on here, and it's like coming apart here. But you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to worry about that, because that could look cool. So maybe I'll let it sit. I'll let it rest just a minute and let those little bubbles kind of finish doing whatever they're doing. Taking a lazy week after all the schools. Yeah, Susan, are you done with all of your paint parties at schools? Hey, Kathy, how are you? I bet you are ready for a rest. They kind of come all towards the end of school, don't they? A lot of them. Is it kind of a year-end fun thing they do? That is so cool. Okay. Look at this. Okay, so this is what I'm telling you. Look, we did mark making by accident. And this is, I mean, the more that you blend it on your plate, the less that you're going to have these blobs. You know, I've got these blobs of color right here, like this. But I think that is cool. And look, you can see where it's pulled up a little bit of their orange. There was still a little bit of orange on there, so it pulled that up with it. I love these colors. I think these are gorgeous. So you can just set these off to dry. But look how fun that would be. You can use whatever kind of a theme that you might be doing with a junk journal or whatever else that you might want. Think how fun that would be to make your own, you know, colored papers. Oh, they had school through today. Oh my goodness. Yep, we finished up school already. So I didn't think about that. You know what? Let's do another one, and let's put a little bit of silver in with that. Here's some silver. So we used the gold with the blues or with the orange and yellows. Let's use a little bit of this one. We might not have so much of that the little bubbling. It might have pulled whatever that residue was off. You don't have to put it like in just little, you know, it doesn't have to be little pools of color. You can do little lines of it, whatever you want to do. So many ways that you can get your color in. But it doesn't take a ton. And if there's more of one color that you want than the other, you know, just put more of that one color in. And then just roll it out. And the more that the more you use your brayer on it, the more that it's going to mix. No, look, I still have that. So weird. Yeah, whatever that, and I mean, you can get it to where it's almost not even separate colors. And then you can just stamp those things. Aren't these pretty? Now remember, we put now I don't know how much now depending on what you're using, you might put something down on the first layer and it's not going to move around as much. You guys, that thing is going to be, I'm going to run out of wipes to clean my desk off. Messy, messy, messy. How many of you have some rubber stamp, or any, they don't have to be rubber. How many of you have some stamps that you could use to combine the techniques? How many of you? Do any of you have some stamps you could use? So then you just press it on here. And then just pull it, and then it's always like magic. It's always a surprise to see what in the world has happened. Now I keep getting these kind of these circular blobs. Now I can see the silver. The silver is on there. And I think a lot of times when paint dries too, it has a little bit different look than when it's still wet. But you can see I still have bits of the orange. It's still kind of dirty around the edges, but you can just make whatever kind of marks. And if you're just popping on, we talked about like making marks right on it before you put your paper down and, you know, pull it. Yes, and stencils. Oh shoot, where did I see a stencil? I have a stencil. Hang on, it's a tiny one, but hang on one second, I'll grab it. I saw this here and I was thinking I could just grab it and use it, and I completely forgot it was there. So let's do another one. I'll just use the same one. Oh my goodness, you guys, right? Yes, some of us have stamps and things that we don't even hardly use that much, right? I've got so many, it's... in fact, I'm getting ready to have a sale and get rid of some of my stamps because I just don't use all of them. And I just feel, you know, why would I just keep them and not ever use them? You know what? Let's put a little bit of white in instead of that. Or maybe a little bit of white and silver. Maybe that would be pretty. And just a little bit, and I'll show you how we can use a stencil. And there's not really any rhyme or reason the way you put those on. So you just want to go ahead and just brayer it on. And sometimes what you see here isn't exactly what it looks like on your, and I'm just going to lay this on here. Oh, I wish I had some water in here. So now we're going to just do that. We're going to put that down. And you're going to see how this will work. We've got some of this look right here. And then we're going to make 2 of these. So I'm going to pull this off. And I got to put this on paper. Hang on one second. Actually, you could do, if I'm careful with the way I lay this down, I could actually get another kind of a print by putting this down. I mean, by doing this kind of stuff, you're using all of your paint and all your tools to the fullest, right? Okay, so now we've got this on here. There's still paint on there. And all you have to do is put your paper back down. And a lot of times, you know, people will do more than one pull so that they are getting all the paint off. What are you putting the paint on before you put it on the paper? Are you hang on just one second, Constance. So now look at this. Look at the kind of, you know, designs that you can get on this. Now, if you had a much bigger stencil that would cover more of your plate, you know, think how pretty. I love this. This kind of, to me, this reminds me of something that would be cool, like in ocean stuff or a book like that. What do you think? I like it. Yeah, right? I love that. Okay, so are you talking about this thing, Constance? This right here that we're putting paint on here, this is called a jelly plate. And, oh, hi there. Double D's Tumblers. Hey there. Welcome. And so, I mean, you can just keep pulling it off until you've pulled all of that paint off. And so there, you know, you just keep working it until you've gotten your paint. Well, that was kind of dry. Hang on a second. Let's try it. There's paint still on there though. Let's kind of give it a little mist. See if we can get some of that kind of back to life. See if we can get it off. I don't know. What do you think? Should we guess? Is this going to work or not? Some. Not a whole lot. Very light. Very light. It just made it look dirty. But you know, that could be the beginning of something else. And then maybe we would, you know, do something else on top of that. But, yeah, I'm surprised how that really dried in there. And so then, you know, if you've stamped on there, this was stamped like after we pulled the paint. This one was stamped before we put it on the jelly plate with the paint. So, I mean, there's all kinds of fun things that we can do, right? And I like the fact that the solid, oh, and where's the one that had the other, I don't see the other one. The one with the little flowers and bees. What happened to that? Oh, did we not ever put paint on one of these? Well, now I don't even know. That I don't know. Let's do a little bit more. Let's just put some yellow on here. So you just put your paint on. Now this might really be a mess since we've got this other blue on here already. But see, look at that. That's turning green. So you got to be careful with your colors, you know, the things that you put on there to mix, because you got to make sure that they don't turn to mud, right? And then just lift it off. And see, and this is a very small, thin little print that we stamped on there. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Appreciate that. Sure, you guys. Hi, Grace. Yeah, you guys, I think that, you know, if you don't have one of these, I think that you would enjoy it. And you don't have to have a lot of paints. And, you know, when you're thinking about paints, all you have to basically have is kind of like, you know, maybe you want to go with just kind of, you know, some of the primary colors, maybe a black, a white, you know, silver and gold, maybe just primary colors. And or, you know, kind of a rainbow, a little group of rainbow colors. A lot of times they sell little sets of paint that has, you know, has a nice variety of paints. And a lot of times when they do that, they give you a nice break on the price sometimes in a set like that, right? You don't like the lines. Cindy says she doesn't like the lines. The lines like the ones like this where I have the lines in it. Is that what you're talking about? No, you don't always necessarily have the lines, but you know, a lot of times this is a printmaking thing, and sometimes, you know, there's no way around that. It's not always going to be perfect, but that's the thing. It's kind of a surprise, you know. So if you like perfect and you don't want any kinds of lines or anything like that, then this might not be something that you would be happy doing, because it's always going to be different. There's going to be things that, you know, are kind of mistakes that happen in it. You're going to have some areas that might have less, you know, less lines and less demarcation than others. But, you know, you've always got that chance. And I don't know. I don't remember always having so many, and I think I've kind of got some problems with my brayer. And a lot of times people don't mind the, oops, I didn't show you. I changed the camera view. Well, there we go. And a lot of times people don't mind the white showing. So yeah, it's just kind of trial and error. Where did you get the plastic surface? It's called a jelly plate, and you can get them in different kinds of hobby places, art places, probably Amazon. Jelly plates were kind of the original ones, I think, that any of us ever saw. And I don't know, probably these days, they've been around for so long, there are probably some that are kind of a no-name brand, I would believe. You know, so there's that. And here, let me do another one. Let me roll a little more paint on here, and then pull another one. Yeah, I tell you what, I think it's just a lot of fun. And a lot of people take parts of it and they make the lines on purpose. And there's all kinds of things that you can use to make marks. Let's see what else we might have sitting here. Oh, I don't know. I just used the paintbrush a little bit ago to kind of take some off. We could do that again. Maybe we just make a little zigzag kind of thing. Just kind of leave tracks. And by leaving the little tracks, that's going to pick up that through the paint. You can completely take it off too. Sometimes people like to do that. And you can spritz it with water and get a different look. If we do that, well, let's just do that. What do I do with my spritzer thing? There it is. Let me just kind of do some drops. If I squeeze it kind of, we're going to get totally different looks. I'm not trying to paint on here for this to matter, you guys. Yeah, that's not. We don't have enough paint for it to matter. Well, I can start to see some of them. I can start to see where the water is reacting and making some little drops, kind of. And it's not wet enough that it's going to matter on this paper, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it like this. Hey, Maddie, how are you? 8 by 10 is this size, yes. You can even get smaller ones. If you think all you would do is use it to make like card fronts, you can get a smaller one. So this one, this is just kind of a hot mess, but you can see where we took our other cards here. We've got like these edges through here. We did our little weird squiggles. And you can kind of see where the water was starting to, you know, have some reaction. We've got some of these little spots, the water spots in through here. So if you had more, if we had more paint and would have left it longer, that would have been fun. But here, if you're just coming on, here was something like with a stencil. We made a couple of things pulled with a stencil. And depending, I mean, we did a whole piece of paper, but you can put a stencil over it and get some other kinds of looks as well. We did some warmer colors. This one has quite a bit of gold in it in here. We did some mark making on here. But just a lot of fun, you guys. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Just lots of fun. So, Cindy says her birthday's coming up and now this is on her list. Great. That is so cool. I'm glad you liked it. You guys, let's talk a minute again. I'm going to spray this. I'm going to spray it. But yeah, you can just wash it off with soap and water. And then it does have like a clear acetate piece that you put on the top and one on the bottom to keep it, you know, clean for in between the times that you use it. And that's kind of important because otherwise you'll have, it's got a little bit of a tacky feel to it. And so if you don't do that, you're going to have stuff all over. Guys, I am looking for my paper telling about the Summer Sun event. There it is. So we were talking today, we've got our Summer Sun event coming up on June 19th and 20th in the Facebook group Sacred Treasure House. Well, actually, there's a special Facebook group. So if you join Summer Sun, it has its own private group, and there's all kinds of things that are going to be going on in there. And so we've got 12 different crafting kits available. We have 16 presenters. It costs $6 to get in, and then craft kits are $14.99 plus shipping, and you get to pick whatever kind of craft kit that you want to do. And this is the one that I am offering. It is a pre-drawn little 8 by 10 little painting, and we'll be doing that on that day. And so, you know, then whatever, even if you don't paint along or whatever, you'll have the recording. They'll be in the group. So there's paint, a set of brushes, a little tray, an apron. You've got, you know, even a paper towel to wipe your brushes on. Your canvas is here. All you need to do is have a place to paint and watch and something for a water cup, right? That's all you need. And then you'll be all set for that particular craft. So if you're interested in getting one of these, let me know. And I can take care of you with that. And we'll have Tanya get you into the private group and get you invited into there where you need to be. So again, that's on the 19th and 20th. And so, you know, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And when we have the private free Facebook groups, I can't talk, you know, it's a lot more fun because we don't have to be so guarded. You know, there can be games and we can do gift-aways and music and whatever we want to do, you know, because it's a private group. So it's a lot of fun doing that. Let me see. So, you know, I hope that you enjoyed seeing how you could, you know, use some stamping along with the mark making. We did like a lot of fun ones here. I love there was one of these I really liked. I really like this one. Even though it's got the edges of the little stencil that I used, you know, along the edges. I love how it made these funny, you know, just, I don't even know. There's no distinct edge. And you know, we got these tiny little, that almost looks like little bubbles along here. I tried to wipe the paint off with just a wet wipe, and it did that. So, you know, but hey, I didn't have a sink out here. I don't have a sink here sitting here, right? You just do what you have to do. And so you can either stamp, you know, over your little painted piece, or you can stamp and then put your, pull your print off, you know, afterwards. So I love the way that gold sparkles and shines in there. Let me see if I can get it to show on the camera. Look at that. It just kind of sparkles and shines. So in person, even though it's hard to get it to show on the camera, in person, that would be really fun to use on a card front. And you know, even though the edges are not perfect, like I said, you know, art isn't all about, you know, nice, straight, clean lines. Now, if I make paper things, unless I'm purposefully making messed up, you know, torn edges or something, then those are the kinds of things that I do want to look a lot nicer and neater. But, you know, art isn't always about nice, clean, straight cut lines, right? I hope you agree. But you know, I think that's the fun of it. And art, you don't ever know exactly how it's going to turn out. It can be a surprise, and you might be more happy with the way that it turned out by accident. In fact, sometimes if you're working on something and you don't like it, you know, you might be tempted to just toss it or completely cover it up or anything. And I would really urge you not to do that. I would urge you to set it aside, you know, wait at least until the next day, maybe even longer, and then come back. I have this thing that I painted one time that was, it was with a group of people, and it was a vase, and it had these flowers in it. And I had never painted flowers that way before. I didn't like them. I didn't like the way they turned out. And plus I did something goofy with some, it had something that was kind of like, oh, kind of wisteria looking or something. So, you know, it kind of had that as some of the filler in the pot. And I ended up getting 4 sprigs of it, which drives me crazy. You know, I don't want 4 of anything just by themselves, because it just like chops it up in such a weird way. And I don't like that still. But later I came, and I used to see that picture I had it sitting somewhere. I didn't have to look at it very often. And, you know, I'd look at it and go, ugh, I should just paint over it and try it again or something. And then it had been a long time. I actually had it facing away. I didn't have to look at it. And then one day I turned it around and I saw it, and I thought, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought. You know, I could live with it, right? I mean, it wasn't that bad. And especially since it was the first time I had, you know, painted flowers in that style. You know, you can't be perfect. You can't be perfect, especially if it's the first time that you try something. If it turns out great, that's a plus. You know, that is a super plus to be able to do that. Oh, you guys, I forgot to tell you who's coming up next. So, and, you know, be sure and go see everybody. I think Tanya has already gone today, and Deborah, and Grace was on with, oh, I saw her name pop up here. Faithful Creations, I think, is her page. And now we've got Pretty Pieces by Michelle coming up next after me. So be sure and, you know, go over and check out what they're doing. I certainly appreciate all of you hopping on today. I hope I've given you some ideas that you want to try, because that is truly what I, you know, like to show you. I don't like to show you that mine turn out, you know, any special way, perfect, bad, whatever. I like to share the ideas with you so that you can take those ideas and make them your own, because that's the fun of it. And when you say My Artful Adventures, which is what the name of my page is, I want you to mean your artful adventures, right? Because we all have our own. So we are going to go hop over there, and all you have to do if you are in the Sacred Treasure House Facebook group, just refresh your page, and then Michelle should be there, and we will see what she is making for us today, you guys. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.